Okay, hello everyone. I'm gonna be looking to show you a bit on how I use standard deviation for my bias. It's pretty simple. It's not nothing difficult. You should have some uh, basic knowledge on MMXM. Powell does give an insight on how it works on this server. If you can get there through the screenshots, then it's great. If not, I will link some videos that I have watched to get some basic understanding of market maker models. But yeah, what we're using today is standard deviation, and standard deviation is just a way to measure where price could go. Now, um, knowing the bias, and this is really important. Knowing and using your bias will help you find exits and entries uh, with standard deviation. Now, I don't use standard deviation as my main entry model. It's just a way to guide my bias, and that's how I know more or less what levels or not are more likely to work. I don't know 100%. I never know 100%. I know there's a high chance that it works, but it's never 100%. So, uh, let's just get the main rule out of the way, and that is, so it's gonna take a while. Let me do this time frame. But the main idea of this is the bias, and why is the bias important? So, MMXM structure is, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to draw. MMXM structure is more or less like this. And then like this, and then I should do it like this. And yeah, whatever. So, from here, you identify the consolidation, which is I call it initial, but it's original consolidation. So this is your original consolidation. And then you have the accumulation zones, which are pretty visible. And blah, 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 blah. This is the sell side of the curve, and this is the buy side of the curve. When you start seeing the sell side of the curve, you should identify a possible reversal zone. Now I'm going to explain how you can find it right here, but first I need to explain the buy side. So using standard deviation for this is just connecting it to the last manipulation leg before the move starts. So right here you'd have your liquidity sweep and price going into a higher time frame PD or whatever is your draw on liquidity, but it's usually higher time frame PD array. And then from there, uh, the leg that forms the breaker. So right here you will have a breaker and a CISD. So you'll have your CISD with a breaker usually. The leg that forms this is going to be the leg that you connect your standard deviation. Uh, let's do it like this so you can actually see what I mean. Let me delete this. Just keep in mind that okay, like this, and then we do it like this. Perfect. Now, what are we gonna use standard deviation for? So, usually, this is a case for pro bias. Usually, uh, we get the CISD, the low risk entry, right here, which would be a breaker. Some people call this the unicorn model. ICT calls this the unicorn model. It's his model. I don't take unicorns. I take another entry model. I usually take the you have stage OBs after this. So this one would be, you can call this the first stage or the CISD. You have the second, third, fourth, and so on. But from here, you just use the standard deviation to guide yourself. Now, how are we going to do this? So if we have a move up and we touch -1, you will expect the -1. It doesn't have to be, but it usually is aligned with some sort of liquidity and could be an accumulation zone like we see here. It doesn't have to be clean equal highs. Doesn't have to. It has to be an accumulation. But what matters is the standard deviation zones. So -1 will give you a zone where price will either range and continue. So it will have a accumulation and then continue, or it will either accumulate, go back to discount. So you'll have a run on discount of the current leg. So it will be like this one right here. So we get this, get EQ, and then you just expect price to accumulate and have a power of 3 lower to mitigate discount, and then from there continue on. And it will also be a dive into a stage OB. From there, you get another OB, that will be the next stage, and price goes on to hit -2. This -2 to 2.5 zone is another range where price will accumulate before going back up. So you can expect either an accumulation or a move to discount or just a power 3. So you connect the current leg, discount, and then from there you expect accumulation, manipulation, distribution up to the upside. Again, if you are pro bias, remember this. And then your last target should be -4, and you'll see in a lot of cases, you'll see that price is going to hit -4. I'm going to show you some examples I have on my notes. A lot of just raw market maker models with no annotations. It's just a standard deviation to show you how it works. But it's basically this for pro bias. Now, if we are counter bias, what's going to happen is that price will reject off of this zone right here and not the -4 one. So we will just, this is just uh, a retracement into the -2 zone, which would be, haha, if you think a bit, it would be just the discount of the current opposite leg. And then from there, you get a reversal for -2. But with the manipulation leg, it tells you exactly the area which you should look for a level. Now, this changes the structure a bit, okay? So from there, uh, you'd expect price to uh, reverse from here, and you'll get your reversal entry model from here, whatever it is. And then this should start an opposing market maker model. And what I mean by this is you'll get this exactly the same thing that you're seeing here, but to the downside. So every exit is an entry, and every entry is an exit, and the grass is green. Uh, so yeah, that's about it. From there, you'd connect your standard deviation again and play the ranges. So from here, you'd see that -1 aligns with this, and then -2 aligns with this, and -4, and so on. With the same uh, with the same structure that I teach here. Now, this is very cool to see in a drawing made by an idiot, but it's better for you to see it in price. So, uh, after you see this video, there should be some examples below, and I'm going to show you. in chart example so you can see how you can use standard deviation to predict price and draw targets. So let's start with this one, these ones. Can you load price, please? Okay. Oh, where's COVID? COVID. Look, I know this is a stretch, but look at this. Price accumulates, manipulates lower, and then distributes. Look at the distribution. So you get a -1 hit, and you range continue. Hit -2. The bias, quote unquote, was not right. Okay? We reverse from the -2 zone. I've backtested and studied this for a while. This is another move right here. There's SMT right here. So the right way, oh, this is important. I might teach you this really quick. So the right way to connect standard deviation, and I don't know why people don't know how to do this, is if you get an SMT lower. So if this is a leg that makes SMT, you connect it like this. But if the other pair is connected um, like this, and it's the one that makes SMT, but it's bullish, the one that's stronger, you connect it like this. Because on both pairs, this is technically the leg that swept. So you connect it like that. And for you to see how much more accurate it is, um, I am almost 100% sure. I know I'm being kind of lazy, but I know there was SMT here, and this is how you connect the manipulation leg up. So this high doesn't get taken. Some people would argue you have to connect this one right here, and it doesn't have to be like this. So right here, the same example. Let me show you how it works in raw price. So we hit -1, price gets messier here, but if you take a closer look, it just rebalances the current leg. Now, after we hit -1, we make ourselves the way into -2, and then from there you see that we hit -2, we start to reject, and uh, the leg that we mitigate discount is the whole range, and if I pull out yes right here, I'm pretty sure there was SMT at these highs also. So this is also a great zone for you to possibly target because it's within discount, and you all know what engineered liquidity is, so you can kind of count this as engineered liquidity to go lower. But from there, after we mitigate discount, we get the power of 3, so price accumulates lower, goes higher, then distributes lower. We go for the -4 zone. Now, why do we reverse from here? Um, you should note in your if you're taking notes from this video, you should note and study uh, one important factor that drives price, which is internal range liquidity and external range liquidity. So IRL and ERL. What is this? Price looks to sweep highs and mitigate imbalances. So what happens is usually price follows a pattern, which is if we take a high, an external range liquidity, price will look to rebalance an inefficiency to then take another high. And then from external, you go back to internal. To show you visual proof or visual aid in price, as you can see, we reverse from the -2 zone. There's a run on discount, and we sweep the highs up here. It makes SMT, so you cannot see it, but we do sweep the highs. We go from the -2 area into um, discounted unmitigated FEG because we didn't tap C. -4 was here. Price mitigates this and then goes back up. On another note, I told you every entry, every exit is also an entry. So going back into price, please load for the love of God. Thank you. Get the last manipulation leg for the move. And if we connect our standard deviation, wow, -1. Power of 3 lower, discount mitigation. -2, it gets run through, but as you can see, after it hits this zone, it doesn't accumulate within it because I think it reaches for the I'm not sure, but it reaches for the -3 to 3.5 area, which can also happen. But it's not as common, and I don't really use it. But as you can see, this one actually goes into the 0.75 range of the market maker model. So between these zones, we hit the -3, and then accumulate, manipulate, distribute to the upside. And as you can see, -4 aligns perfectly with the highs, and you get a market maker model completion from here. Now this is fractal. You can apply it however you want, but as you can see, this is pretty accurate uh, to in a sense that it gives you pretty good uh, reasoning behind what price is doing, gives you pretty good targets. You know more or less what to expect. So combining this with whatever you have to assess your bias could benefit your trading a lot. Let's look at some examples and how I do this um, to help me understand where the possible reversal zones or um, where some levels could hit better. So the low we formed on this massive, like really fast move down was not perfect. So uh, this is where I improvised a bit, but I used the last candle that manipulates down to um, connect my standard deviation. Now, um, this is pretty easy. So after this, you get this. You get the move up. This is a stage 1 OB. Get the move up. And then from -1, I called a level that was more or less aligned with -1. From there, I told price to reverse more or less around here. This is how I caught this move lower. And it might not seem like much right here because this is a daily chart. But if you see, it gives around 500, 600 points, which should make you more than enough to live a couple months on one contract. Um, as you can see, applying the same logic, we took out this high, and from there we look to rebalance an inefficiency, which is this daily FEG. This is another FEG, but it looks to rebalance this daily FEG right here. As you can see, sweeps the high, mitigates this, continues higher into the next target that would be external range liquidity. Now within this, if you go into price yourself and you try to apply whatever I teach you here, you'll see that the targets uh, will work in a lower time frame for the FEG, and then from there, from there it will go down here, and then from here it will go up. As you can see here, I have a move marked out right here that gave me uh, the reversal area, more or less, that would reject the weekly move. Let's try to find it. I think it's on an hourly. Sorry, I don't know why, but Brazil's internet providers don't work during the weekends, and I'm gonna need to update my internet shit. Okay, so this is the move down that I connected right here. As you can see, we accumulate, we manipulate, and then we distribute. This was the drawn liquidity that I gave you. Uh, I literally said, I sent charts. I said that this is the drawn liquidity, current one. I'm not going to explain why this zone specifically, but as you can see, price was reversed again off of this. And if you limit this, it gives you a free 200 points. Then again, told you this would be more or less the reversal zone, and from here it gives another 200 points. So, I think this is about it. The reversal zones work pretty well. I was targeting this, but as you can see, when the bias is quote unquote wrong, and we are very bullish high time frame, I'm just going to show you that example. This is the manipulation move right here. It's this leg because it's marked on the 1 minute. But as you can see, we reach -2 right here, and we reverse off of it. We also got SMT right here. I think Asia lows. So this is about it, to be honest. I don't think I have much more to say about standard deviation that I can tell you. And yeah, I think that's about it. Now you should look for example, this model that this leg up candle generated. It's over because it gets reswept. So now the new model would be this leg right here. And as you can see, if oh, I cannot use my custom one. But if you connect this right here, you'll see that the 4.5 will align more or less with this data low. I'll just do it, and then I'll just do it myself. Sorry, put it in white or gray or whatever. So you'll see that this aligns perfectly. So yeah, you could argue that price next week hits -1. So the weekly open should either open a bit up or within the same range, accumulate for a bit, power 3 up, so mitigate discount, and then from there go lower, mitigate this, uh, and everything with the same mindset and always having the external range to internal range liquidity in your mind. Uh, and yeah, I think that's about it. This is how I use standard deviation from what I can tell you. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask. Please don't pressure me into answering everything because I don't get paid or um, charge you for this information. So I'll answer when I have time. And yeah, that's about it. Good luck, everyone.